I did not expect to see you in this desolate place, Walker. Did Captain Nalado send you? Or have you come to join us as we hunt the dragon that killed so many of our warriors? Then our missions coincide. We can work together to destroy the undead and slay the dragon. It will be glorious. When we finish with the hunting and the slaying, we can report our success to Lord Gareshri. I do not take orders from that old battle mage. Besides, the blood of Khajiiti warriors cries for vengeance. To disregard that cry, that is not a shame I can bear. No, I must do this. I must strike back and show my people that hope survives. The worthy life is full of risk, Walker. I assumed you knew that, given what you do. I will tell you a secret, though. Before my parents died, they gave me a pendant. As long as I wear it, Jode watches over me and provides his protection. To Jode, yes, but also to my family and heritage. I suppose you could call it an heirloom. It helps me in my role as agent for Lord Gareshri, and that is all I will say about it. Now, let us go inside and find the Necromancer and the dragon. With me! Stay close. We will hunt these necromancers down and end this dragon. The path splits here. We will go right. Walker, you stay left. Moons guide us. Foul creatures! Cut them down! enemy awaits, Five Claw! Destroy the Necromancer!
No more excuses. No more delays. Double your output or your reanimated body will march at the head of your Axia's forces.
These bones cannot be broken. We did it! The Necromancer has fallen!
Far enough, little insect. You dare challenge Mulamnir?
Dragonfire, move!
Pathetic creatures. Little morsel. Mulamnir would talk to you. Look upon Mulamnir in despair, morsel. You have no chance against me, no chance at all. But Mulamnir can be merciful. Come, let us talk. Mulamnir wants you to understand the challenge before you. Our puppet, Eurexia, commands a legion of soldiers, an army of necromancers, and a horde of undead. Add my dragon brothers, and the hopelessness of your cause becomes obvious. You and Abnathon are insignificant, but even an infinitesimal flea can irritate after it crawls beneath the scales. I offer you one last chance to survive. If you and the battle mage leave elsewhere, my brothers and I will not hunt you down. Then you will die. But not before we slaughter your friends and set fire to elsewhere. Once we reduce this land to so much ash, only then will I tear you apart. So promises Mulamnir, whose claws have dealt 1,000 deaths. Leave elsewhere, little morsel. Tell the battle mage, if I see you again, you will die.
Five Claw, are you all right? I heard what the dragon said. Perhaps my confidence was a bit misplaced. That creature was much bigger than it appeared when it flew over the camp. I never jump without first knowing where my feet will land. Also, I have very sharp claws. We lost so many today. The dragon, that Mulamnir, it has much to answer for. We defeated the Necromancer and shut down one of their undead foundries. We need you and Tarn, despite my dislike of the man. But what the dragon intimated about Euraxia, it called her its puppet. I fear the dragons control the Rimmen throne now. Yes, you must do that. I will join you after I take care of the remains of my soldiers. They died bravely and deserve to receive the proper sacraments. Go to Riverhold. I will see you there.
Watch your step in the stitches.
Ah, there you are. Spare a moment for a chit-chat? If we've had this conversation already, then I wanted to thank you for the useful advice. But if I haven't seen you since our talk at that mysterious gravestone, which seems much more likely, then I could really use your help. Did I mention the dreams? Visions, really? They come and go without warning, like seeing through someone else's eyes. Quite disconcerting in an interesting sort of way. Anyway, my trusty shovel and I, we searched that entire grave, and it was gone. The betrayer's head, the dreams, the visions, they drew me there, but someone got to it before I did. I have the strangest sensation in the pit of my tummy. It could be the cobweb porridge I had for breakfast, or something bad is about to happen. Well, that's sort of like leaping from the cliffs of failure without a rope, or at least without tying the end off first. I can't tell you how many times I've made that mistake. Oh, Abner wants to see you. He's in the town hall with the cat general.
At this point, we need to come up with a plan that takes into account Euraxians, Necromancers, and dragons. I proposed a few options, but Gareshri wasn't sold on any of them. Tell me, what of Chimera and the source of the undead? You paint a troubling picture, my friend. Still, we need to celebrate every victory we achieve. I fear such triumphs will be few and far between. Do you have anything else to report? My half-sister likes to think that she's in charge. She won't take kindly to being called a puppet. As for leaving elsewhere, I think not. Obviously, this Mulamnir fears us. Otherwise, the dragon wouldn't have deigned to talk to you. Every conversation I have with Cadwell makes my head throb, but one mystery at a time, if you please. Now, if only I could get my half-sister to listen to reason and see that the dragons are using her. A parley? I may not like her, but we are family. Besides, it would give the Khajiit time to regroup. You're beginning to think like a Tharn, my friend. Here, take this. Gareshri gave it to me, but I refuse to accept payment for my services. A parley with Euraxia is a capital idea. I'll send word to Rimmon to expect us. I imagine my half-sister will treat us as befits my station and agree to the meeting. Attend to any other matters if you must, then see me when you're ready to leave. It just so happens I already have one. It involves distracting my half-sister with wit, charm, and words she barely comprehends. Oh, and you. Euraxia never could resist a pretty face. You'll pretend to be my bodyguard and personal valet. Consider it obfuscation to hide your true purpose. We don't want to give Euraxia a reason to react poorly to overtures of reconciliation. Not that I expect to reach an accord, but still. Meet me in Rimmon and we'll enter the palace together. Go on, go on. I'm capable of traveling to Rimmon on my own. We'll meet up at the city gates and go to the palace from there. I'm relatively certain Euraxia will honor the parley, but be prepared for anything. She's still a Tharn, after all.
This one hates the idea of talking to the usurper queen. We should be stabbing her in the neck. Still, Nalado sees the necessity, even if she doesn't like it. Euraxia will almost certainly betray you, so be careful when you face her, yes? By marching into elsewhere with a mercenary army and slaughtering our rightful Khajiiti rulers. Not only did the usurper slay our king and queen, she murdered the rest of the royal family. Her crimes, they swarm around her like flesh flies on dung.
A parley with the usurper queen. I doubt she'll agree to any sort of diplomatic solution. But it will buy us time to replenish our resources. Very well. Take Tharn and meet with Euraxia. In the meantime, we will rebuild what remains of the militia. She marched into Anequina with a mercenary army and conquered Rimmon. Her forces killed the royal family, and she illegally proclaimed herself queen. That makes her a usurper. I pray I live to see her pay for her crimes.
The Khajiit here.
The Khajiit here are intent.
You must truly have it. Dark moons? That sounded not good. Time to go.
The Rimmon Bank is an honorable institution.
Next time I'm in the field, welcome to our hall. Are you familiar with the guild? The Fighters Guild. You should consider joining up. We have a new guildmaster and a new singular purpose. Why don't we talk for a moment? Excellent. I know we'll all be drawing blades together soon enough. Now, what can I tell you? Right. Our new guildmaster is an Argonian, sees all colors. She has us all hunting down the Daedra and their damned anchors. You might have seen them. Enormous chains, plagues of Daedra boil out to lay waste to the countryside. Hard fights. Ha! There's a good question. We train our members in special techniques, and the higher-ups are always looking for motivated members to help with special projects. You never know, you might be the next Yofnir. Then let me be the first to officially welcome you as an associate of the Fighters Guild. Get out there and take the fight to the Daedra.
Fascinating. Welcome. Are you here on Mage's Guild business? Yes, of course. We're lawkeepers across the face of Tamriel. Guild members seek out books, tomes, and ancient scrolls in their travels. Why don't you speak with me for a moment? Perhaps you'd like to join. Always good to speak with another knowledge seeker. Guildmaster Vanus will be pleased. We're book hunters of a sort. We seek out new information, capture it in our libraries, and make copies for distribution across Tamriel. The Guild doesn't care about battlefields or boundaries, just knowledge and the acquisition of new tomes. We provide training in unique spells and abilities only available to members. And from time to time, projects crop up for those with an adventuresome spirit. You may end up working with the Guildmaster himself. Excellent. You are now a student of the Mages Guild. Every book you find will now earn you reputation in the Guild.
Shore's bones. Rigert knew he should have brought more mead.
Hurried purchase.
Indeed.
Be decent till I drop.
I've got what you need.
I expected sorrow and despair, but the situation here goes beyond even my prophetic inklings. On the surface, yes, but peace through tyranny provides false harmony. Euraxia uses fear and threats of violence to keep the Khajiit in line, making them second-class citizens in their own province. It appalls me to think Euraxia and I are related. It would be better if I showed you. Follow me, and I'll demonstrate the true depths of my half-sister's villainy. Her grip on Rimmon is far tighter than it appears. Very well. But what I'm about to show you isn't for the faint of heart. Follow me. Have you ever visited a Rimmon workhouse? They treat the Khajiiti workers worse than slaves. It's that building over there. For most of Rimmon's Khajiit, it's the only job available to them. The workhouse serves to snare the poor and the destitute, those who fall behind on their debts. They come here to find employment and earn a decent wage, but the costs deducted to pay for room and board leave them worse off than they were before. One of the first things Euraxia did after declaring herself queen was to institute tariffs and fines that apply only to Khajiiti citizens. No one else needs the workhouse. A cruel tactic, but effective. The Rimmon Khajiit? No. Any complaints incur fines for causing a public disturbance or some other inane ordinance. No one wants to risk falling even further into debt. It's ingenious. Monstrous, but ingenious. Oh, Euraxia is clever. She pays the Khajiiti, and the workhouse isn't technically a prison. On the surface, it appears to be a place that helps society's unfortunates, but underneath, it's slavery without any of the uncomfortable trappings. Now, let's visit the Rimmon marketplace. Take a look around. Business seems to be thriving, but appearances can be deceiving. It may be hard to see, but the Khajiiti merchants struggle to keep their stalls open, while the less bestial business people rake in the profits. Euraxia would have you believe it's a matter of work ethic, but we know better. Unfairly doesn't begin to cover it. Khajiiti merchants must deal with high tariffs, extra inspection fees, costly licenses. Euraxia's squeezing them for every piece of gold imaginable. She even instituted a fur tax. On the surface, it seems reasonable to make Khajiiti pay for extra inspections to ensure their fur isn't getting into the products they sell. And while they do shed, it's just another way to discriminate against the rightful citizens of this land. Come along. I want to show you the improvements Euraxia made to the palace walls. See the trebuchets? Notice how they're aimed into the city below. See how the siege weapons sit upon the walls? When it comes right down to it, you're looking at the secret of my half-sister's success. How else do you think Euraxia maintains order and keeps the elsewhere defense force at bay? She declared publicly, and has repeated often, that any attempt to liberate Rimmon will see her unleash the full fury of the siege weapons upon the city. If Euraxia can't have Rimmon, then neither can anyone else. She'd destroy the city in a heartbeat if she thought she was in danger of losing control. Of course, she tells her non-bestial subjects that only the Khajiiti districts are targeted. Absolutely not. But the lie makes her supporters feel better. The Khajiit know that even a peaceful protest could result in the destruction of Rimmon. So far, no one has dared to challenge Euraxia's will in this matter, and for good reason. When we get to the palace, let me do the talking. As the Elder Tharn, I'll demonstrate my dominance over Euraxia and negotiate a cessation of hostilities.
Here come Queen Euraxia's guests now.
I don't like the looks of these meddlers. I say we feed them to the dragons and be done with it.
So you're Abner Tharn's bodyguard and valet. Not what I expected. I assume you want to follow your master into the Queen's inner sanctum, huh? I'll allow it. But first, I want to gauge the measure of your marrow. I am Queen Euraxia's chief necromancer. You may call me Zumog Foom. The other Gravecallers answer to me. And this is my familiar and confidant, Sir Cadwell the Betrayer. Ah, yes. The Betrayer saw you when it looked through the soul-shriven's eyes. The creature you know is a pale shadow of the dark night that once walked these lands. I exhumed his remains and reanimated him. Well, his head. It was all I could find. My actions don't concern you. I just wanted to meet Abner Tharn's lackey and determine if Queen Euraxia had anything to fear. The answer is quite clear. Your insignificance rivals that of the soul-shriven fool, which makes you eminently forgettable.
Now about the rest of my body, O pestilent one.
Your insults will in the process, Betrayer.
but there's a terrible draft in what used to be my nether regions.
Presenting Abner Thorn, Grand Chancellor and Overlord of Nibene, Imperial Battle Mage of the Elder Council, and Patriarch of the Thorn Dynasty, and his bodyguard.
Ah, half-brother. Your arrival, it's so unexceptional.
Pretending to be a queen
Hush, Abner, you bore me. Bodyguard, you look interesting. Come talk to me.
You heard her. Good luck.
My sources indicated that my half-brother's associate was somewhat taller. Oh well. Now, why in the world should I even consider negotiating with members of the losing side? A warning? How thoughtful. You do know that I defeated the Khajiiti army and took control of the Rimmon throne? I am no one's puppet, I assure you. But why do you suppose I have anything to do with dragons? Sweet talk? From an associate of my half-brother? I'm flattered. Shall we retire to the dungeons? We'll engage in the most interesting activities, you and I. You'll positively beg for mercy right up until the end, and then I'll give you to Foom. Do not attempt to sway me with your silver tongue. Mulamnir and I have a special relationship, an understanding. The dragons will secure my hold over elsewhere, and there's nothing you or my pathetic half-brother can do to stop them. Enough! Zumog Foom, what news do you bring?
The Desert Wind Adaptorium has fallen. We move against Riverhold on your word.
Then the word is given. Now, half-brother.
Treachery? How could I ever have anticipated this?
Guards, take them to the dungeons.
I think not. Well, I suppose that could have gone better. I prepared for Euraxia's probable betrayal. Unfortunately, my teleport spell wasn't quite able to penetrate the palace wards, so we wound up down here, in the palace sewer. We heard two things of note. First, Euraxian forces have invaded the Desert Wind Adaptorium for some insidious purpose. And second, my vile half-sister ordered an attack on Riverhold. One thing at a time, my companion, one thing at a time. I need to recover my strength after teleporting us into this skeever hole. I'll need your help to get out of here. Then we can deal with both Desert Wind and Riverhold. The way out, finally. I can't abide another moment in this stench. Well, that's an experience I won't be adding to my memoirs. We'll separate here. Make it harder for Euraxia's lackeys to follow us. Now. Things actually turned out better than I expected. We know that Euraxia wants something from the Desert Wind Adeptorium, and we know she's about to launch a counterstrike against Riverhold. That's not exactly true. If my power wasn't depleted, well, let's not digress. I'll go to Riverhold and warn Garish Ree. We'll make sure the city is ready for the attack. Meanwhile, you find out what's happening at the Desert Wind Adeptorium. Adeptoriums serve the same function as monasteries in other parts of Tamriel. Desert Wind and its adepts follow the order of Jean Kaj. It's west of here, on the northern lip of the scar. Look for a side entrance if the main door is blocked.
Singing a song that calls the moonlight serenade at my whim, dancing among the flowers fine.
Who wouldn't want such a cozy little home?
I'm hearing troubling rumors about Ashen Scar. Undead, mainly. I guess I can mark visiting there.
Ah, yes. The stories of an undead plague there makes this one's fur stand on end. Will we be seeing throngs of undead marching out of there next? This!
You haven't heard that a necromancer is trying to stop the undead. I would not be surprised if you haven't. Because why would a necromancer try to stop undead?
More likely a necromancer.
Asura, is this truly the path you set me on?
Ah!